Testing, 1, 2, testing. Can you hear me, gentlemen? Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. No more buffering there, Ed. Okay, we're going to be working with 3 against 2 with the stick control book. Gentlemen, you should have the PDFs. Ed, you have the PDFs, correct? So, what is 3 against 2? It's a polyrhythm. It means 2 patterns or 2 beats or 2 different things are going on within the distance of the downbeat. If I have a downbeat 1, 2, 3, 4, I want to play 3 strokes or 3 beats or 3 hits, whatever you want to call it, in between the downbeat equally. 1, okay, so now that establishes the 3. Again, if I have the downbeat 1, 2, I want to get 2 now with the other hand. So how do we count or put this together? 3 with this hand and 2 with this hand. All right, the way I'm counting this, I'm thinking I'm breaking the 8th note triplet down. Instead of counting the 8th note triplet as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and as I usually do, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the count. Instead of counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 as the triplet to the downbeat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Now, I want to get the 2 beats equalized with the other hand to the downbeat. So I'm going to open up that count. I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. So I'm going to put the 2 with the right hand on the floor tom-tom. So what's going to happen now, I'm going to count that triplet. I'm just going to play the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and it's played on the and of the 2. So you're playing on the 1 and the and of 2. Let's put it together. 1, 2, the downbeat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Okay. Now what I did, I took the brilliance of George Lawrence Stone. And I took, I think it was 12 or 15 of them, but what's this one? Hey, Marcio. What's that? Marcio, okay. we're doing 3 against 2. So what we're going to do now, like I said, is we're going to take the brilliance of George Lawrence Stone. I'm going to play the 3 with my left hand, constant. However, I'm going to distribute the 8th note between the bass drum and the floor tom-tom. So for example, if I'm playing line 1 of the stick control book, I'm making R being the right, the bass drum, and L being the floor tom-tom. So without the 3 or the triplet, what I'm going to count now, straight 8th notes, and this is my right side, my part for my right side. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Got it? If I went to line 2, it would reverse itself. What it would be was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, line 3, right, left, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll skip line 4, go to line 5, and then we'll play against the 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So what you're doing is you're playing the paradiddle between the bass drum and the right hand or the floor tom-tom. This time we're going to put the 3 in here. I'm going to do line 1. Remember, R equals the bass drum. 1. Go to line 2, it reverses itself. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3. Line 3, 2 rights, which would be 1 and then 2 left, against the triplet. Now I'm playing the 3 against 2. You hear that, guys? Any questions to this point? You understand it? I'm not trying to blow it out and play it 9,000 miles an hour. I'm doing it slow so you can see what's occurring and what I'm doing. Do we understand it? Okay, so with that being said, what we're going to do now, I gave you the PDF with the accent on the first note of the triplet. I just demonstrated that without an accent. So the feel doesn't change, the sound does. And when you do the accent, there's something occurring with that left hand, the level system. When I'm playing the 3 notes, there's 1 accent and 2 non-accents. So what I have, okay, is down, tap, up with the left hand. So I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So instead of using now just the triplet, we're using the accent. Okay, now it's a little bit strange at first, but if you keep doing it over and over again, you'll get the feel. That's 3. Now, there you go. You don't want to blow it out. You want to make it nice and musical sounding. So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me take the snares off. Line 3. a difference? Try it, guys. You can make it as musical as you want. Yeah. Now you have the whole stick control book to do like that. Now, being that there's 6 guys here, 7 guys, I want to make an announcement. This Wednesday, I have a guest instructor coming to the studio. He's going to be doing, we changed the time, instead of 1 p.m. on Wednesday, it's going to be 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Alan Herman. I don't know if you gentlemen are familiar with Al. He's a great technician. He's also a former student of the great Joe Morello. Al has had an interesting career. He had originally been playing with 10 Wheel Drive. I don't know if you remember them. And they were traveling all over the world. It was a very popular group in the early 70s. Then he hooked up with Bob Fosse on Broadway, and he was doing, he was the original drummer for Jesus Christ Superstar, Pimpin', Dancing, I forgot all the other shows. And most interesting, was a former student of Joe Morello's. He takes a scientific approach. He'll explain, come Wednesday, what molar actually is, what stone actually is, the laws of physics. He'll break it down. Now, this is a lesson you really don't want to miss. It's very informative, very educational about hand technique. In my opinion, other than the fact that Alan's just one of my friends, he's a very brilliant person. A little cranky sometimes, but that's okay. We all are. He is a brilliant man when it comes to this stuff. So stay tuned for it. It will be on this channel. What is this? Well, he's going to explain that to you, Mauricio. My opinion, there is no such thing as molar, nor is there any such thing as stone. You refer to that because it's a certain way you implement the laws of physics. When I do a downstroke, if you want me to explain a little bit of the up-and-coming thing, if I hit a snare drum from this point, that's a full stroke. It's a loud sound. But if I hit the snare drum from this point, it's a lighter stroke because of the distance. Now this is not molar. That's an arm stroke. In order for me to get into this position, I come up and come down. For example, I did a lesson on accents using a vamp. That's one sound. Now if I want to, I'm playing eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if I want to accent number 1, 2, 3, and 4, I have to come up, down, up, down. People refer to that as molar. It's the level system. It's the laws of physics. Understand that, Mauricio? It's not the molar system. Sanford Moeller was an excellent musician. I think he played with the Boston Pops most of his career. However, you have to realize Sanford Moeller studied with the Civil War drummer. Now, you have to understand way back, whenever the Civil War was, I forgot the dates. You had drummers in the field with these long field drums with ropes that would be the tension. And you had mule skin or calf skin heads. Now, envision this. You're on a field now in formation with 4 other drummers. Okay, and there's a battle going on. The southern and the northern people are shooting their muskets. Okay, and then the cannons are going and the guys are screaming. and they don't know what to do. So up on the hill, there's the general with a flag man and another maybe colonel or whatever. And he explains to the flag man what the move is. Okay, left flank, attack, right flank, retreat, whatever it might have been. Okay, now for these drummers, for the troops to hear that, the drummers, they had to play loud. So what they're doing, in order to hit the drum loud, they're coming up from here, and that's what the Civil War drummers would do, and they would have to pound it. Imagine that. That is like something Sanford Moeller originally learned. He modified it to this, but it was blown out of proportion by the great Jim Chapin. Nothing about Jim Chapin. I really worshipped him. I thought he contributed a tremendous amount of knowledge to the drum community. But he labeled it as the Moeller system, and it stayed with it. And some guys say, well, no, it's not the Moeller system, it's the Stone system. Well, it's neither. It's the art, it's the laws of physics. Same thing when I'm playing that triplet, when I'm doing a 3 against 2. Let me take that off. An accent, 2 unaccented. But I'm in position. I have to come up in order to hit that position. So that's the level system. Down, tap, up, down, tap, up. You understand that, Mauricio? Ed? I'm just giving you my take on it. You can call it whatever you want. When I studied with Joe Morello, when I said, that's the Moeller, he laughed. It's not the Moeller system. It's the level system. They call a whip, it's not a whip, it's a pump. The whip, watch me do what they call a whip. They're going, they come all the way up here like this. Who's this? This could be very interesting. Oh, you're welcome, Janice. Anyway, I would do that with Joe. I would come all the way up here and do an arm stroke. Watch my right elbow. It's a pump. I bring it out and come back in like this just before the accent. That's not whatever they call it, a Moeller stroke. The Moeller system would not exist if it were not for, what's his name, Jim Chapin. Then you got other guys out there, low Moeller, right Moeller, up Moeller. They're supposed to be the ambassador or some bullshit. I thought it was ridiculous. All right, who is this one now? He didn't use Moeller, he used the level system. Mary Spavak, is that how you pronounce? I can't pronounce his name. He studied. Joe studied with him, and learned all the principles of the rebound and of the stroking heights and sticking heights rather. Great teacher. One thing that I would have loved to have done, I wasn't familiar with George Lawrence Stone when I was younger. I had the book, and I said, that's the most boring book in the world. And I put it away. Not until I went to Joe Morello did I understand the brilliance of George Lawrence Stone. Now, Joe Morello studied with George Lawrence Stone. And George, one thing I would have, if I'd known that he's still teaching, I would have loved to have taken a lesson with him, or a few, or every day, or whatever. Anyway, when you learn this system, it's just a natural way. There's no tension. There's no squeezing the drumstick. There's no pain, no gain nonsense. That's like, this is not a sport. This is a musical instrument that you're playing. Okay? So, with that being said, I mean, Mr. Spovic, is that his name? I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize, Ed. Was one of, in the beginning, Joe Morello's drum teacher. Okay? And he had that. He had George Lawrence Stone and Billy Gladstone for finger technique. Now, I sat with Joe for, 30 years, or maybe even more, on and off. And every time I sat with him, he just ceased to amaze me. And he had all these other great drummers come to see him. Vinnie Colaiuta, for example, went and took a few lessons. Danny Gottlieb, and also Alan Herman, and quite a few others, like Steve Smith. Steve Smith and Joe Morello didn't get along because what I'm projecting out here right now is about, sort of about Jim Chapin. And like I said, man, I adore the guy. He has contributed so much to the community that, bless him. But what he was contributing was the molar thing. He was fascinated by his drum teacher. And if it wasn't for him, there would be no molar system. Okay, do we have any questions on the 3 against 4? Now, for those, first off, who do not or did not get the PDFs, you can email me for this lesson. My email, I got to put it in. I hate typing. This computer's driving me crazy. My email is if you don't have the PDFs for today, please email me. I will put you on my mailing list, and you get an agenda for the week and the PDFs as well. Now, I'm going to start a campaign, and I think it's a very serious one, on reading. And I tried to do it last week and the week before, and my computer was messing up. First of all, I'd like to get some response from Ed. Now, you could hear me clearly, and there is no more buffering, correct, Ed? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try. Occasionally, I might miss without any notice, but I'm going to do my regular lessons on Monday and Wednesday. I'm going to add an additional 2 days to this stream on Tuesday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday, and 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, and 8 p.m. on Thursday. And I'm going to devote that to reading and reading only. Now, I have a certain way, and I think reading is extremely essential. Not that, you want to take portraits in rhythm and be able to play that. Yes, that's a cool thing. I mean, if you're afraid of reading that much, well, you don't want to be working in a pit in a symphony orchestra, but maybe a show drummer. Or if you don't know how to read, and there's all this knowledge out there with all the publications, and if you don't know how to read, they don't do you any good. So I don't know where to really start that, the reading, the breakdown. I think on Tuesdays, I will have a beginner kind of thing, and on Thursdays, it's somewhat advanced. How does that sound, people? Yes? No? And for those who are not on Facebook, please get on Facebook. I have 12 different Art of Drumming groups. I have the Art of Drumming itself, the original one. Janice, you need to email me first, please. If you email me, you go right to my mailing list. I just gave you my mailing list, Matt Patella, 1001@gmail.com. Email me. I will send you the PDFs and put you on a list. And we're going to start the reading campaign starting tomorrow, 1 p.m. and 7:30. Thursday rather, it's 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. Okay, gentlemen? Yeah, well, what's that? Mate. Is that what it is? I can't see. I have the glare. All right, no problem. That would be good. Now, the reading, I don't know, like I said, I'm going to use at first the syncopation book. I'm going to start off very simple. The quarter notes, the eighth notes, the sixteenths, the combinations, the dot. I'm going to throw out some technical information, mathematical information. And for you to be a good reader, all right, we'll work on a double stroke roll too. We're going to do a rudimental once in a while. The double strokes, the rudiments, so on and so on. And you'll see, you know, my whole thing about rudiments is there's only 3 rudiments. Now today there's like 40, Vic Firth's chart says 40 different rudiments, and then some because you have the hybrid. Now if you look at the stick control book, there's your rudiments. There's the single strokes, the double strokes, and the flam, and that's all. The other stuff is a combination of that. Okay, no problem, Janice. I'm going to try my usual broadcast, all right, during the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday would usually be on YouTube. My 7:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's iffy. It might be on my website or it might be here. Let me give you my website address. Yeah, I put my email in there again. Now that's my website. I'm usually there during the week, 7:30, Monday and Wednesday. And other than the Monday and Wednesday, all other lessons will be on YouTube. Yeah, I have my own books, and we'll use, maybe if you want to learn how to read rudimental, we have the Charlie Wilcoxon books. We have the Louis Belson book, Reading Text in 4/4 and 5/4. And we have my books as well. If you don't have the books, I will supply you with some sort of PDF related to that. Basically, we're going to first start from the syncopation book. Okay, who's that, Peter? Okay, so when you email me, Janice, I will give you the times. They're going to be flexible, but you always will know on a Sunday night or a Monday what the week's agenda will be and where the location will be. Okay, now what I need to do, I'm trying to do, does anybody have any questions on the 3 against 2 lesson with the stick control book? Because this is, I should label it as stick control 3 against 2 101 or 1001, something like that. There's going to be a continuation of this, different variations of this kind of thing. Now, not that you'll ever use this. You might if you hear it with inside of a tune, but it's developing control and developing a tremendous amount of coordination and musicianship. You have to become familiar with your instrument and make it as musical. Where are you from, Janice? What is this? I can't see that. Okay, so anybody have any questions on the 3 against 2? I'll re-explain it if I need to. And I'll give you a different exercise other than the one you have on a PDF. Sometimes it's better not to visualize it, but to make it mental so it makes it stronger. Now, guys, if you happen to miss the lesson when I'm broadcasting on YouTube, it will be recorded. And once it's processed, it will be on my site, on my YouTube channel. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. It'll let you know that I just uploaded a video. You can come and see it if you missed it. Okay? All right. Anybody have any questions on 3 against 2? Now, what I'm going to combine, the next lesson, next exercise, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, is everybody wants to get a faster bass drum, or, oh, my foot gets tired, it hurts. Well, that's because you're tense and you're not used to any muscles. It's like anything else. If you decide you want to go jogging, okay, and you don't start jogging the first day 10 miles, you hurt yourself. So you slow it down. And the same thing with the bass drum. You need to take it slow. Now I'm going to do my bass drum. I'm going to count triplets. But I'm going to count the triplets, like I said, for the subdivisional reasons. 1, 2, 3, 1. Now I'm going to run down the stick control book, either on the snare or mix it up on the toms. There you go. Okay, you run the whole page down like that. I haven't had a chance to write that out. Okay. Now I see this statement in the chat here about a groove. Now let me explain something to you about a groove. A groove is only when you're playing with the musicians. Everybody's in the same pocket, and you're having a musical conversation with the other musicians. When you learn something by yourself and you practice something by yourself to become better, that's called a pattern. Okay, so we need to get the terminology correct. Yeah, we're going to be working with the jazz pattern, straight ahead jazz, 3/4, 5/4, 7/8, 9/8, whatever time signatures. We're going to have, I have developed a tremendous amount of exercises with using the stick control book and using Gary Chaffee. All right. I at first studied before the stick control book and the Chaffee book was that I was challenged by, again, Jim Chapin's Advanced Techniques for the Modern Drummer. I mean, that was a journey. Whoa. The only problem with that, I mean, I'm able to play that, but that was like an endless journey of struggle. The only thing that I don't like about that, I mean, you have the graphics there and explains how it's broken down. And that's a good thing. But I've taken that learning process and applied it to the syncopation book, to the stick control book, to the Chaffee books. And I learned a lot. It was a good basic foundation. What do we have here? Well, the shuffle we talked about one time before, right, Mauricio? The basic halftime shuffle. That's the halftime, but we played a regular Texas shuffle. or some rock funk patterns, or the jazz patterns. Ding dong, ding dong, ding. I have all these exercises written out, and wow, the time is gone. All right. But we'll work on them. We're going to work on all of these. And if you're on my mailing list, right, Marcio? Ed, you still there? Ed's a pretty advanced player, so I don't want to bore him. Anyway, geez, it's 1:45 already. See what happens when you're having some fun? And don't forget, please, tell your friends too. Wednesday, there's going to be 2 broadcasts. And the first one's going to be at 2 p.m. And the next one is going to be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're featuring Alan Herman. I gave you a brief sort of bio of Alan. Don't want to miss this one. Alan Herman, myself, and Mike Clark, we all sat down in the studio and made a video. Man, those guys are something else. They are great. And Mike Clark can play. Wow. And that's who else is coming here. Sometime in July will be Mike Clark. And I have to email somebody today in reference to Bernard Purdy to do a lesson here. And Mark Walker, I don't know if you know who Mark Walker is, but he's always on tour, very busy. Afro-Cuban guy. And he's on the staff at Berklee College of Music, and he's an assistant professor. And he has one publication out, which is really good, he gave me as a friend. That is World Drumming. And there's a tremendous amount of great information there. But anyway, with all that being said, if anybody wants to get on my mailing list, you have my email. Mail me, and I will put you on that. Okay? Now, I have to close down. It's almost 10 minutes to 2. And I'm going to try to make the lessons as fruitful as possible and as long as possible and in a variety of tempos and with PDF sheets. So please tell your friends about Wednesday. And don't forget, tomorrow, 1 p.m., reading. It's going to be very basic. Which one? Mark Walker, are you talking about there, Ed? Mark Walker is an outrageous player. If not, I mean, the other people I mentioned are just as outrageous. Mike Clark, Alan Herman. Okay. Need to run. Hope I was helpful today. We'll see everybody tonight, 7:30 p.m. on my site. That's mattpatellallivelessons.com. And tomorrow we'll have 2 lessons on here, this channel, 1 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, this channel, 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And come Thursday, we're going to have 1 p.m. and maybe 8:30 p.m. You'll get notification when I'm on. Yeah, Mark Walker can play, man. He's a hell of a nice guy and great musician, has a passion, and he's very humble. And all these guys that I mentioned to you are all humble. That's why they're so great. Always asking questions. What's this? What's that? And I hope I remain that way for the rest of my duration on Earth. So with all that being said, guys, have a good day, and I'll see everybody tonight. No, tonight it's going to be on my website, 7:30. Okay, Ed? Have a good rest of the day.